And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to helping you win in any marketplace. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region's #1 consumer advocate program right here on 1380 The Biz, the Wall Street Business Network, 5 o'clock drive time. Weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone, and a daily TV show as well. WeBeam TV, Apple TV, Amazon TV, Roku, and 85 other outlets. So we're real excited about the growth here, and it's all about helping you win no matter what you're facing.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
We want you to save our hotline number in your phone, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. That's your #1 consumer advocate program there and your hotline. So you can reach out, and we want to help you with all types of different areas of real estate, finance, health, nutrition, lifestyle. We've got 80 different show partners here on the show, and it's all about helping you win and connecting you to those professionals that want to help you live a better life. So every week we're getting calls, people want to know more about their credit. How can they improve their credit? Real estate, mortgage advice, all types of ways that we can help you win. Intelligent Talk Radio, I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Back in studio, Scott Kepler and Mortgage Approval Group. Welcome in, sir.
Thanks, Brandon. I love being here, and I appreciate you having me. Looking forward to having a great discussion today and hopefully bringing some value to the listeners out there.
Absolutely. Yep. We're going to talk about renovation loans a little bit today as well.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Looking
All
forward
right.
to it.
Ron Fuller back in studio. Welcome in, sir.
Brandon, I always love being here, buddy. I'm excited to be with Scott. We're going to talk renovations. That old home that you thought was out of reach might just be the ticket.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of ways that you can invest in real estate. We talk about real estate not only as a place to live, a place to build those memories with your family, but also great investment opportunities. Great, in the Tampa Bay market, Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. You got Bradenton, Palm Harbor. This whole area is just a booming area. Even though the economy nationally, or the real estate economy, is kind of slowing in some states. Of course, it's the winter seasonal type stuff happening, spring seasons. We are still rocking and rolling down here in the the greater Tampa Bay area. So we've got a lot of positivity in the market, a lot of good things happening, and we're going to talk about some of those indicators as well. We'll ask Scott a little bit about the 10-year bond, talk about what rates are going to do. But regardless of rates, you're still in a great environment here in the Tampa Bay market. We got a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about. As you know, I'm the owner of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty here in Tampa Bay, Palm Harbor area. We've got a hot property listing in Tarpon Springs. This is on 1701 Mariner Drive in Tarpon Springs. This is a great property, 1701 Mariner. This is an opportunity, Mariner Way in Tarpon Springs. You've got gorgeous pictures here from Fabre Frameworks. They give us the beautiful real estate photography, our real estate photographer. And if you look at the drone shot there, you've got Upper Tampa Bay, the intercoastal waterways there on the coast. But this is a renovated property, great opportunity here, sitting on almost a half an acre in Tampa Bay and Tarpon Springs. Beautiful property. Also a great buy in Dunedin, one of the best property locations in the state, 1790 Bayshore Drive in Dunedin. This is a great investor, maybe a starter home for someone. This property, it's an opportunity to get into the popular area of Dunedin, Florida. Huge backyard, terrazzo floors throughout, and it's a great opportunity. Owner's motivated here, and he wants to make a property decision before 3/31. So 1790 Bayshore Boulevard, a hot real estate property listings. PlatinumMVPTeam.com. PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, we're back here in the studio. We're going to help you win. Coming up as well, I want to let you know we have an opportunity to go to the convention center here, the Tampa Convention Center Home and Garden Show. It's the spring of 2019 Tampa Home and Garden Show. It's going to be on the 23rd and 24th, Tampa Convention Center. We're going to have a double booth there. The Consumer Quarterback Show team, some of our expert contributors are coming out. So come over and say hello, shake some hands. We'll give you some footballs and all kinds of little giveaways that we have there at the home show. So it's East Coast Consumer Shows putting on this 2019 Tampa Home and Garden Show over on the 23rd and 24th in the website tampahomeandgardenshow.com. Check that out and check out all the cool contributors there at the garden show. All right, so this segment is brought to you by the Lucky Dill. Our official restaurant partner is the Lucky Dill Restaurant, and it's home of the sandwich that ate Brooklyn. These sandwiches are huge. They've got a restaurant there on site, a deli, New York City bar, Brooklyn bakery, catering, banquets, and so much more. It's 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard in Tampa. They also have a location in Palm Harbor off of US 19. The Lucky Dill Restaurant is the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, and make sure you go in there and let them know that the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Tell them that you heard this message, and they're going to hook you up with some special offers and incentives, and also a free water with lemon every time. They're going to take care of you in there. All right, so let's jump right into it. We got Scott Kepler in the house. He's a wealth of knowledge, decades of knowledge in the real estate business, mortgage specifically as well. You and I both have some experience. We worked for the same company on the wholesale side, so it's interesting when you have that perspective from an underwriting standpoint, also what the retail side looks like and what people want. So what do you think about the current environment in the real estate and mortgage space, Scott?
I think that it's an exciting time to both be a home seller and a home buyer. There's a lot of great opportunities out there as far as the properties that are on the market. As you mentioned, we're still hot because we don't get that severe weather change that you get in some of the northern states, and I think that's a big part of it. But we are coming up to that spring season, and that means that we're going to start seeing a lot more homes listed, and we're going to see a lot more homes sold. So there's going to be more opportunity out there. But as a buyer, I think you have to be aggressive and and be ready to make that move when you find the house that you think is going to work best for you and your family.
That's right.
Because there's a lot of other competition, out there.
That's right.
And, from a seller side, that's good for you,
Yep.
because it means you'll be able to move your home a little faster and, be able to purchase that next house.
Yeah, it's interesting. We are in the middle of a shift. With that being said, there's a certain amount of homes, that are going to hit the market, and there's a certain amount of homes that have already been listed for 60, 90, 120 days or more. And what happens is the best of the best gets sold, the best of the best. And that's what I talk to my sellers about. It's like, hey, we've got to price this property to where it's going to sell. Otherwise, we're going to sell our competition. The competing homes, the comparables that are competing are going to sell because we're hanging out a little bit too high. We need to. So I think this is a time for sellers to really get realistic, and especially on the scale of motivation, it's always a 1 to 10. Where are you at? Are you at a 7 or 6? Oh, I don't have to sell. Or a 9 or 10. You really want to sell. You're motivated to sell. You've got to move to get closer to work, the beach, whatever your goal is. So I would urge buyers, both and sellers, to buyers on the buy side. If you see a property that you like that checks your box of yeses and needs and wants, don't get complacent because next week that property won't be there.
Right. And you got to jump on it. It's an opportunity that you don't want somebody else to come in and swoop up.
That's right. So you got to be ready. You got to work with an agent that's competent, that's going to be able to, do a contract right on the spot. There's ways you can do contracts right away. And also the pre-approval process. That's when it really comes into having a pre-approval in place, Scott.
Absolutely. We've talked before, there's a big difference between getting pre-qualified, where typically a lender will just pull your credit report and look at what you put on the application, and getting pre-approved. And I think from a seller standpoint, and you can probably attest to this, dealing with all the sellers that you have over the years, is that it holds a lot more weight to show that seller that I've already got my financing arranged.
Right.
The lender's already reviewed my income. The lender's already reviewed my assets, so they know that I've got the money I need for the down payment and my credit, and everything's in line.
That's right.
And there's a lot less chance of anything popping up that's going to sideline that contract from closing on time.
Yeah, it's almost as good as cash. People say it's as good as cash because really, even if you got a cash offer, you still got to do title. You got to check the liens. You got to check the encumbrances. You might want to have a survey in place. There's still certain things that are going to happen. And, if you have this type of pre-approval, all they have to do is then qualify the collateral. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah, because we've already looked at the credit. We've already looked at the, like I said, the income and the assets. And the only thing left really is the property. So as long as the house appraises and there's no, issues with the condition of the property, then it's pretty much a slam dunk deal at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's ways that you can get creative as well. By the way, if you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We're talking with Scott Kepler. He's the branch manager for Mortgage Approval Group here in Tampa Bay, highly respected mortgage lender in the Tampa Bay market. We want you shopping local, working with local companies here in the Tampa Bay area. So, Scott, are we at a point now where, you know, the economy's been pretty good for a while, the market's been pretty good. Are we at a point now where you're seeing some of these, you know, they used to call them non-prime, subprime type loan programs coming back into the market?
We are. We
Yeah.
call it a non-QM or non-quality mortgage, and it kind of goes outside of that. They don't like to call it subprime anymore, and it's not quite as aggressive as what we used to see. It's more designed for a true alternative borrower, whether it be a self-employed borrower who maybe writes off too much on their tax returns to show enough income, or we can utilize bank statements as income, or somebody that has had a housing or credit event like a bankruptcy or a foreclosure, short sale, something of that sort, and they don't quite fit into the guidelines that are required by FHA or Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac or one of those, lending outfits as far as their specific programs. The non-QM loans will come in and allow that person to still get the financing that they need, albeit typically a little bit larger down payment, a little bit higher interest rate because it's considered a higher risk for those reasons.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the bank statement loan, for example, makes a lot of sense. You got a contractor of pools, build, whatever they're doing contracting wise. They're making money, they're making income, they're playing the game with the accounting, with the books on the book side to minimize the amount. So when you look at those bank statements, you're able to see, okay, well, here's the cash flow. You see the cash flow, you realize that there's income coming in, and it's an opportunity for that self-employed borrower to try to minimize what he's paying Uncle Sam. So, all right, stay with us right here. When we come back, I want to ask Scott more about some of these renovation loans. We're going to bring Ron Fuller into the conversation as well. He's got a vast experience in real estate as well here in the real estate market. So more from our expert contributors. Also, our feel-good story of the day is a good one. World War II veteran receives thousands of cards after asking for 100 for his 100th birthday. Stay with us right here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We want to help you win in any marketplace, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. Also recruiting to our team right now. If you're a real estate agent or know someone who is looking for an opportunity on a team, we'd love to talk to them. You can give us a call on our hotline, 813-670-7372. And remember, we're your #1 consumer advocate, not only here in Tampa Bay, but statewide with our vast network of professionals. We want you reaching out, 813-670-7372. And this segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort over on beautiful Treasure Island. The official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is the Bilmar Beach Resort, filled with fantastic and generous amenities to make your vacation that much more special. This resort is awesome. It has 2 pools on site. You've got the Sloppy Joe's restaurant, bar and grill right there. You've got toys and games outside, and just a 2-beer beach is what Clyde Smith calls it. It's a 2-beer beach all the way out to the water. Just a great place to hang out. Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Now, they're going to give you special offers and incentives. All you have to do is just mention the show, tell them that you're a fan, that you heard about them here, that the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Talk to Clyde Smith. He's a general manager over at the Bilmar Beach Resort on beautiful Treasure Island in Treasure Island, Florida. One of the best places to live, work, and play. All right, we got a couple of hot real estate properties here. 7911 Jackson Springs. This one just hit the market, $285,000. Town and country area. Just a great opportunity here in Tampa Bay. Very clean home. The owner is very motivated on it. Keeps a really nice property here. 7911 Jackson Springs Road, Tampa. Coming up with an open house next weekend on that one as well. 165 23rd Avenue in St. Pete. This is a great opportunity as well. Now, this is a corner lot. Just a great location in South St. Petersburg, 165 23rd Avenue South, St. Petersburg, Florida, just south of downtown. Just a nice area, 7-minute walk to Lansing Park, waterfront. Just a great opportunity here. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com, PlatinumMVPTeam.com for all of your real estate listings and all of your real estate needs. We've got Keller Williams apps as well that we can put you on and help you with your search. All right, back here in studio, we're going to help you win. We got Scott Kepler in the house. I want to bring Ron Fuller into the conversation as well. So, Ron, with your background in real estate, different capacities of real estate, you've seen a lot of things. What do you think we're looking at right now, and what do you see happening in the future?
Actually, interest rates are set to improve a little bit. Florida's got such a unique characteristic for real estate. That is our economy. People continue to want to move here. Internationally, the folks that are baby boomers, which is still our largest population in our country. So you got folks from Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, but we have people from different countries wanting to move here as well.
Right.
It's interesting when I do the larger trade shows, I see a lot of foreign people, and they're wanting to live here, and they're wanting to invest in our properties. In fact, it's interesting. Germany, for Fort Myers and that Sanibel Captiva area, that's a big time market. In fact, the Fort Myers airport, I believe it's 58% of the traffic is offshore.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's just down. But what Tampa has going for it, besides our beautiful beaches, is we've got economy here. We got a bustling harbor, and there's just a lot going on. Tampa is an incredible place to invest in real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. 25 museums, 35 art galleries, 40 miles of beaches, professional sports. I wonder, too, haven't looked at it lately, how much currency exchange is playing in right now in the international exchanges. You look at, some of the reasonings why people want to move here. I would think currency exchange is going to be up at the top of the list for a lot of foreigners.
Yeah, for Florida, I mean, man, do we have a lot of advantages. First of all, it's always safe to invest in America. So people in other countries feel safe parking their money and their resources in retirement in the U.S. Backed or U.S.-based business. And, of course, housing is huge. And then we've got the weather. We have the beaches. There is so much going for you in the state of Florida, anything to do with real estate. But Brandon, I want to talk with Scott, something that we were mentioning before the show started to air. These home improvement loans are really great. So, we have a lot of beautiful historic homes. I live in a town called Mount Dora. I really love that town. There's a lot of historic areas in St. Pete and different parts of Tampa. So people will find a dream home downtown, but say, gosh, it needs a new roof, it needs renovation. I could never afford that. After I close on the home, it would take me years to save up.
Right.
Well, these home improvement loans that are available through conventional FHA, I believe it's a 203K, and VA, all three of the lending arms have programs available where you can actually put the improvements into your loan. So you can buy that home that needs renovation, and you're going to be able to finance the home improvements, which gives you instant equity. So a new kitchen, a new roof, repairs that the home needs, the lender and the underwriting system and even the appraisers all take that into consideration.
Yeah, I love that type of program, Scott. It's almost like a pre-construction loan, like a construction loan with different draws. Is that right? And they're gonna background check. They already have background checks done with these contractors to make sure that it's a smooth and closing in a safe process.
Absolutely. And the good part about it too is you can choose your own contractor. You don't have to use one that's already approved. We can help them get approved. It's a simple process, but absolutely, you go out, you find a house that you really love, but man, you hate that kitchen.
Yep.
Or I wish the outside wasn't this color, or it's a house that maybe is in a little bit rougher shape. It's foreclosure or something of that sort, and needs some work done to get it up to code, or needs a new roof. It's the perfect opportunity to finance in to the purchase. Of course, we can do it as a refinance too on a house that somebody already owns, but you finance in the cost of those renovations and still have the minimal down payment that's required. It's just on a little bit higher amount because you're including those renovations. But what we see in most cases is that that will end up turning into equity, because when it's priced out by a listing agent like yourself, if the house isn't up to par to what the comparable homes in the area are as far as conditions concerned and upgrades and that kind of thing, you're going to price it a little bit lower.
Right.
So you, as a home buyer, you spend a little bit of money to make it just the way you want it.
Right.
You get it right up front, right after the purchase is when they get, right after the closing is when they get started. But then there's also, there's different moving parts with each of the different loan programs. But, a rule of thumb is we can finance the purchase price plus the cost of the renovations minus whatever your minimal down payments requirement is. It's 3%, 3.5%, 5%, 0% if you go with the VA loan program. So it's a really good way to find a little bit older house and make it the way you want, or find something like Ron was talking about that is maybe a historic home and rejuvenate it back to its original glory. Like it was at one point.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with Ron Fuller here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Scott Kepler in the house as well. So Ron, also in previous shows we've talked about the enormous opportunity that's out there for investors or would-be investors to buy duplex, triplex, quads, those types of properties, or even take a step into the multifamily apartment complex game.
Oh yeah, here's the reality. You have to have a roof over your head. We like to talk about that. We need food and shelter. That's a necessity. Luckily, we don't need warmth too often in Florida, although today was a bit of a surprise. But yeah, the idea is you're investing in something that is tangible. Yep. How many people have lost money in the stock market with stocks that you've never touched or see, companies you might never even heard of, right? Yeah, billions. But a home, a duplex, an apartment complex is something that is absolutely tangible, and it's insured. So even if it burns to the ground, it's going to be rebuilt. So it is something you can touch and feel, and it is a necessity for people. And it is always going to appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely.
You cannot park your money in a smarter investment than real estate, and especially when you're talking about Tampa.
That's right. Now, Ron, you were a veteran, right? Is that right?
No, but I do love my vets. I ride a Harley, and some of my best buddies are veterans.
All right, you guys remember that show, G.I. Joe, as a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one?
I had G.I. Joe with the scar.
Remember
he had
the TV show?
Yeah, I think I was a little old for that.
We got a story here with a real life GI Joe here. World War II veteran receives thousands of cards after his 100th birthday. He's announced it. It's a story that went viral on social. So we're going to talk about that here on the flip side. But a real life GI Joe story coming up here for you right on the other side of this break. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, at Consumer Quarterback Show as well on Facebook and LinkedIn. And we'll see you right after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty. Got a hot listing on Clearwater Beach. This one's 207 Coronado. This is a nice opportunity for a developer, a business owner, entrepreneurship. This is right on Clearwater Beach. The main strip is Coronado. When you come around that roundabout, you go to the left, and you got, look at across the street, you got the Wyndham Grand there, the Hyatt, Pier 60 across the street. This is a great opportunity. $3.5 million listing, but it's a prime piece of real estate there on Clearwater Beach. Beautiful property. PlatinumMVPTeam.com. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. 7424 4th Street North is another commercial opportunity in St. Petersburg. This is a gas station, corner lot gas station, and again, just a great opportunity for a business owner, entrepreneur. This has 3 service bays as well. So if you've got a light mechanics type shop, you have an opportunity here to move your business sell some gas. You also have a mini mart there, but it's got all the equipment set up. Great location just south of downtown, just north of downtown, rather, at 7424 4th Street North in beautiful St. Petersburg, Florida. And this segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Is Brothers Easy Moving. I'll tell you what, Gary and his team, oh man, they did a great job. We had to reschedule our move a few times because we were pre-construction building a home. And if you've been through that process, you know how that goes. But when they showed up, they had 6 people, 2 trucks, 6 young men. They worked very hard all day. First class experience, and they wrapped the furniture. They made sure they did a good job, and they strive to be the very best Tampa Bay moving companies by exceeding your expectations, and they did that with me. They are the best reviewed Tampers and movers in Tampa. That is on Google. They hold a 4.6 rating. On Tampa Bay, they have an A rating on the Better Business Bureau, A rating on Angie's List, and a 4.5 rating on Yelp. And they've also won the Super Service Award multiple times as well. Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Make sure you give them a call. Let them know that the Consumer Quarterback sent you, and they're going to give you some special offers and incentives just by reaching out to Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we got Scott Kepler in the house, Ron Fuller as well. Talking a lot about real estate today. We're looking at the real estate market as a whole, not only here in Tampa Bay, but nationwide. You know, we are in this undeniable market shift. Gary Keller of Keller Williams wrote a book called Market Shift, and it talks about, you know, just things that happen in that shift. I'm actually going to be teaching classes over at the Pinellas Realtor Organization and some of the Keller Williams offices as well about how to navigate these shifts. And I think, you know, when you look at a downturn especially from a, you know, the selling side, on the listing side of the transaction, less inventory. You know, there's realtors now are leaving the market. Some of the realtors that couldn't hack it, you know, they're leaving the market. So it's a good thing all at once. It's sometimes people get scared from a shift, but what happens is the people that can last, that have the staying power, that have been in it for a long time, years and years, you know, a lot of the newcomers are gone. They're out of the business. So it brings in, you know, it's cycles. You know, everything's cyclical in real estate. So have you guys seen cycles in your experience? Have you guys been through cycles?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, of course, mortgages are real tightly tied to the real estate for obvious reasons, but and we certainly see cycles with what's happening, you know, on the real estate side, but also what's happening in the market as far as interest rates go, and a lot of times that will influence people's decision on whether they should, you know, buy or sell or refinance. So yeah, I think the economy as a whole across the board has those same type of cycles, but right now I think we're, you know, as far as the mortgage side is concerned, you know, as Ron mentioned earlier, interest rates are still really great. You know, they're a lot lower than, you know, they were, you know, 30 years ago.
Yes.
And at the same time, not as low as we saw a few years back, but there's still a lot of buying power in, you know, having an interest rate that's under 5%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, when you think about it, and you compare it to what you pay on your car, your credit card, or, you know, a personal loan or something along those lines, or even a business loan, is a lot lower.
That's right.
And you're able to finance it for 30 years. I mean, when you stretch it out that long,
Sure.
That gives you a lot of house or a little bit of money.
Yeah. Ron, same question to you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that low interest rate was artificially low.
Right.
And a healthy, it's like steroids. Steroids aren't good for you. They'll give you some big muscles, but you'll pay down the road with health issues or death. And a healthy market, a healthy economy is where things are more normalized, a little more stable. So outstanding realtors like yourself are always going to do well. The good folks do well throughout all the different cycles. And I've been in real estate longer than I care to admit. And I do remember when bond money came out, and people absolutely did backflips because you could get 8 3/4, and people were completely freaked out. They were camping out at the lenders. There was qualifications that you had to meet, but people couldn't believe, and this would have been 1987-ish. People couldn't believe they could get 8 3/4.
Wow.
Fixed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Freaking out.
awesome, man. You look at because we went through. I believe about that time it was in that range. It was the SNL crisis, so you had different changes. It's interesting how, not only is it now we're looking at investments in technology in the billions of dollars per year with some of the big online valuation type companies trying to reach that iBuyer, that internet buyer, and then you look at the legislative side, and the government, how the government plays into affecting our industry. But it's such a driver of our economy, so we've got to be careful from both of those angles. It's like, we got to make sure we allow for free markets to reign with some type of overview. But now the game is all about controlling the data. You've got these, huge national lenders and companies that are, they're playing these games where, once they have the data, they own that information. And then now they've got the database to be able to re-solicit your customers. In a lot of cases, a lot of these realtors are using some of these national lenders. It's a bad idea.
Absolutely. And as a mortgage broker, when I team up with the different lenders and investors that I work with, that's an important criteria for me. Is do they have a retail division, or do they have an inside team that re-solicits the business?
Yes.
And because I want my clients to be able to get that same experience every time they have a mortgage transaction, and so I try to team up with lenders that specifically realize that I've built that relationship and they want me to keep that relationship. And so, if somebody comes back to them wanting to do a refinance or, requesting a payoff because they want to sell and purchase something else, then they're able to link them back together with me, so that I can give them that same service again.
Yeah, it's important, when you look at that, Ron.
I call them data bandits. And what bothers me about data bandits is often their information's erroneous, incorrect, or at least outdated. So it's and I've seen that more than once, where that information is crazy outdated. Now all of a sudden you're exposed to getting calls from people on a property that doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting too in the real estate space. It's happening too. There's this company, this one in particular company, that's going into some of the major markets, and they're soliciting certain agents from an existing brand to go to their brand because they're luring them with this bait of technology and basically a paycheck. I think they're doing sign-on bonuses to have these people move over, but they're just buying the market share. They're short-term buying it. Whereas what we did at Keller Williams, we just rolled out $1 billion tech package that has built into our platform. So we've got a complete platform that has CRM, everything built in, which you come to expect now. But what we've also done is we have artificial intelligence built in. So the AI is built in there to understand more. Say for example, if Scott's a home buyer and he shows interest in the, for example, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or he's interested in renovation type loan programs in a certain geo or area, it's going to feed them information about, hey, this new restaurant just opened up in your zip code, or it's artificial intelligence and it's not only learning from that one individual, it's learning from hundreds of thousands or millions of people nationwide that have the same type of criteria that you may have. So it's awesome.
And when it comes down to doing different marketing and stuff, you're able to tap into that information to create a duplicate audience to the ones that you've done business with.
Right.
And that helps you. It kind of goes back to birds of a feather flock together,
Right.
and the things your parents used to tell you to, you don't want to hang out with that person because, this or that. Well, it goes the same way with the data, and and they can find people that have, similar interests and similar qualifications, if you will, and they're able to utilize that to market by owning this data. But like Ron said, sometimes that data is so outdated that that's not you anymore.
Right.
The property's already sold and closed. For Scott and Brandon, this is a plug for both of you. That's why you deal with a local live person.
Right.
That's why you spend the money for a proper realtor to list your property, or you deal with a proper realtor for buying a property, and you deal with a local lender.
Yeah, that's right.
Because sometimes technology it can be a joke, and when you're dealing with large national banks, you're just a number. you try to talk to the underwriter, you try to talk to somebody about your loan package, and you're calling a different state, and they don't know you from Adam.
Yep, that's right.
And
It's
they don't
complete
know
opposite.
our market either.
Correct.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a big part of it, I think.
And that's why Inman News, they've written different articles about the Z word. I don't even like saying the name. They're coming in re-soliciting. So I think it's ridiculous that a lot of these, especially a lot of the newbie realtors, these people that are just getting licensed, they're just trying to figure out the game, but they're feeding these machines. They're paying money for zip codes to buy leads, and it's just like short-term game, but long-term you're losing. It's ridiculous. But all right, stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, more from our expert contributors, and our feel-good story is a good one about a real-life G.I. Joe. This gentleman is a World War II veteran, and find out what happened on his 100th birthday right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Published author, professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. We'd love for you to check out our book and also our company that we launched with Ken Shamrock, the BGCA, the Business Growth Celebrity Academy. We're helping you realize the celebrity in you. Business Growth Celebrity Academy helps you become a micro celebrity to grow wealth, personal brand, and increase your status. And anyone can become a micro celebrity. It's easy. We'll teach you how. And we partnered up with Ken Shamrock, the ultimate fighting champion and UFC Hall of Famer, the legend in that sport. Des Woodruff as well, his business manager as well on that business. So pretty cool stuff happening here around the show. Apple TV, Amazon TV, Roku now. You can find us on all of your smart TV applications, Sony TV, 85 different outlets. We want to connect with you in a big way. ConsumerQB.com is our website. We'd love to connect with you. ConsumerQB.com. You can send an email right there from our website. You can also see links to all of our expert contributors there as well. A couple of hot property listings here in Tampa Bay. This property is just reduced, and it's an owner-motivated home at 103 South Havana Avenue in Tampa. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, $482,000. Actually, I think we dropped it to $475 last week. This property is super nice. It's a great area just south of Kennedy. A great opportunity, bungalow style, and it's in the Plant High School District, one of the most sought after school zones in the area. $475,000 is the new price. 103 South Havana Avenue here in Tampa. 5506 Dallas Way in Valrico. River Hills Country Club, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, $540,000, just reduced down to $540,000. 3,500 square foot, one owner home that is sure to impress. And this is a great opportunity to own a contractor built home. He is a contractor. He built his own home, and he put the icings, the sprayed icing in the ceiling, the attic. Just a great opportunity here in Valrico, Florida, gated subdivision, River Hills Country Club. Another hot real estate property listing, PlatinumMVPteam.com. All right, every day we're going to tell you something positive in our Feel Good segment of the day. We're going to tell you something good.
Tell me something good.
All right, so we got this World War II veteran that receives thousands of cards after asking for only 100 on his 100th birthday. So a World War veteran turned 100, and he asked for one thing. 100 birthday cards is what he wanted. So his wish came true many times over. G.I. Joe, Joe Cuba, nicknamed G.I. Joe, is a resident of Brookdale Midwestern and an assisted living facility in Wichita Falls, Texas, a retirement home that wanted to help make his wish come true. So they posted on Facebook. And here's a quote, I am a World War II veteran who will be turning 100 on March 2nd. I would like to receive 100 birthday cards. Since the photo was posted, Joe has received more than 2,500 birthday cards, over 100 gifts from all over the world. Joe continues to be amazed with everyone's generosity. Keep the cards coming as we celebrate 100 years with G.I. Joe, Brooksdale wrote on their Facebook page. All right, pretty cool.
A lot of cards.
Yeah, that is a lot of cards. That's a cool picture.
Fella.
Yeah. Yep. Great generation there, defending the country. Making things happen, man. All right, so this segment is brought to you by WholeBodyFuel.com, the official meal delivery service of the Consumer Quarterback Show. WholeBodyFuel.com. Chef Brian Adamo and his team do a great job preparing these meals. They deliver them directly to your home or office. And WholeBodyFuel.com, you can find your world famous protein donuts, awesome meals, and it's really good food. Excellent stuff there. WholeBodyFuel.com, the official meal delivery service of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, back here in studio helping you win. We got Scott Kepler in the house. He's the branch manager, Mortgage Approval Group, and we got Ron Fuller as well. We're going to jump into our lightning round here and tell you some positivity.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning.
All right, top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Scott Kepler, you're up first, sir.
If you're out looking for a house and you find something you like but you don't quite love it, and you think you can make a couple changes to get it to that point where you love it, maybe you need a new kitchen or new roof or whatever it may be, reach out to me and let's talk about some of the renovation loan programs that are available. It's a great way to buy that house that you want and make it the way that you want.
ScottKepler.com. ScottKepler.com is the best
ScottKepler.com or
there.
MortgageApprovalGroup.com. Either one will get you to me, or you can call me directly at the office at 813-444-5700. 8537.
All right, good stuff. All right. Ron Fuller, top tips for our listeners out there.
Just piggying back on Scott. Absolutely get you that home. Tell you what, if you can find an older home in an established area, needs a little work, whether you're a veteran, conventional, or via FHA loan, get it, because you can improve the home. You'll have the equity you need, and some of the oldest homes are going to grow quickest in value.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to look at infrastructure in the neighborhood. Look at proximity to interstates. Look at proximity to hospitals. Those other add-ons, shopping, those types of things. Infrastructure is key. You're going to make sure you have, sewers, water lines, especially if you're rural. You're looking at all these different ideas. I want to talk about time perspective. One of the most important things that you can do, whether you're looking at planning a business, planning a real estate move, is developing long-time perspective. So Dr. Edward Banfield of Harvard conducted a 50-year study. And how many times do you hear studies and you wonder, like, really, how long do they study that? Like, I'd like to see more studies on cell phones, or we're all like droids these days where we have the earbuds in our ears and we're driving around. So a 50-year study, they studied something for 50 years. I think about the patience that takes. So Dr. Edward Banfield of Harvard conducted a 50-year study, and his goal was to find out. He studied into upward mobility and how some people are born with little, but then ultimately become millionaires. And then some people that are born, maybe even with favor, they come out with less money. So he wanted to know, he studied the upward mobility of economic growth and pride in the United States and other countries. And what he determined after this 50-year study is that the number one determinant of success was long-time perspective. In other words, how long are you planning your next trip? How long are your next business deal? How long are you planning? And the types of planning that goes into that. So you look at business planning, you look at SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So these are important factors that you want to determine. And a good example of that is, businessmen or people that are planning, for example, to erect a huge building. I mean, think about how much planning goes into the architecture, the ground, the foundation of that building. Right? There's a lot of planning that goes into that. The flip side of that is your hopeless alcoholic or drug addict. They're only looking for their next fix. They're looking for the next 2 or 3 hours. They're trying to get that next fix. So those are two extremes of long-term planning. But think about that when you're starting your career, you're starting your business deal, or even, key relationships in your business. Long-time perspective. Look up Dr. Edward Banfield of Harvard and think about that study when you're thinking about that. All right, let's do another round. So let's do some top tips here, parting words of wisdom. We also have that buyer-seller seminar coming up, Scott. We should plug that as well. On the 13th, coming up, we're going to have a buyer-seller.
I'll be there to answer all your mortgage-related questions, credit questions, and I know that Brandon has a whole panel of experts to be able to help you with anything that's related to buying or selling a home.
That's right. Buying, selling, investing. We're going to help you win tools and, ways that you can save time and money. Time is money.
Absolutely.
When you look at that. So time and money when it comes to buying, selling real estate on the 13th of March. I think it's an evening event as well, 6 to 8 p.m.
I think so.
It's over at the Keller Williams office as well, over off of US 19 in Clearwater, US 19 in Curlew, right there in Clearwater, kind of Palm Harbor, Clearwater line there. It's pretty close. Ron Fuller, parting words, man.
Well, I like that 50-year study. Listen to things like this show, Napoleon Hill. Fill your mind with positive and things that you will learn. For example, you can watch a television show that you've watched as a rerun, or you can feed your mind and get it positive and grow. Remember what we always say, if you're making $50,000 a year or less, own your own business.
Yeah, that's right.
Just go out and do it.
Yeah, take a risk, risk reward. It's the whole thing of risk reward. If you are in a business and you're having trouble, you have to figure out what's working and what's not working. In a market shift, you gotta do what they call red light, green light. If it's not working, you got to kill it. And if it is working, you got to maybe take a look at doubling down on it and seeing what's actually working. Shift it up. Make a change. If it's not working, make a change. And then I would say focus on your Pareto principle. What's the 20% of the task? If you wrote down 10 or 15 tasks that you do on a daily basis, what's those 2 or 3 things that really moves that needle forward for you, moves it over to that success side? Those are the things you want to focus on, and you want to make sure that you are scheduling that time, because if you don't time block it, a lot of times you get caught up with processing or things that aren't really originating new business for you, especially if you're in sales. That's the key. It's all about listings and leads, and in real estate it's all about listings, leads, and leverage. So hey, another great show. Ron Fuller, thanks for coming in. Scott Kepler as well. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, carry it with you to and from your commute, hand it to that person that you see in need, and be a force for good in the community. Do something kind for one another, and we'll see you right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show. Weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.